And we are live. What's going on, folks? Welcome to episode number 34 of the Nuclear Golf Podcast. Coming at you guys live on a Friday night following round one action at the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. Team Europe currently holds a 5.5 to 2.5 lead over the United States of America going into the weekend. Fellas, my name is John. I'm the co-owner of Nuclear Golf and TW Legion, and I'm pleased to be joined tonight by Ryan from JT Legion, Mike Carbone, one of our Nuclear Golf ambassadors, and Tim Bowman, another one of our Nuclear Golf ambassadors. Before we get started, today's show is brought to you by Blue Chew. Great sex is just a few clicks away. Visit bluechew.com today to learn more. And big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring today's episode. All right, let's get into it. Team Europe essentially came out firing today, fellas. We thought that the U.S. was maybe going to be able to just run up the score today going into the day, but not to be. I always had the opinion that it was probably going to be a close Ryder Cup. We saw that the U.S. didn't have all their guys performing today while the Europeans came to play. So I just want to get your guys' initial thoughts on the day, the morning session, the afternoon session. Obviously, Europe took both sessions. Ryan, what were your initial thoughts just on what we saw today and what you expect to see going into the weekend?
Today, if you're an American fan, it was very, very disappointing. After that opening tee shot by Bryson and all the hype, you literally had a great feeling in your bones. That was a chill bumps moment for me, probably for most Americans that were watching that opening tee shot. And then it seemed as if the tide shifted after about an hour and a half of the first session this morning. It seemed like the American team went flat. Europe just does what Europe does. They bond together, they play together, they step up, they each make putts. It's never one guy. Um, and then that we end that session horribly, just getting a point. And then the afternoon session looked very, very promising, honestly, in the beginning of that too for US. It looked like we were going to do well, and then we ended up getting 2.5 points or a point and a half out of it. So very disappointed as an American fan, but very, very impressed with how Europe played overall.
Yeah, that's a pretty good detailed of what happened. I mean, I was pretty disappointed with the way, America came out today. I had a bad feeling about this Ryder Cup for the past few months now, just because of all the optics going into it. I mean, you can make the argument about the Americans getting paid. Europe's playing for just the love of the game, the love of their continent, whatever. And, they just seem to pick each other up all the time. There's more camaraderie on that side than over here. It feels like, for whatever reason, the past, I don't know. Actually, I take that back. The past few years anyway, since the whole Live PGA Tour deal, it seems like things are a little more divided. That's just my personal opinion on it. But at the end of the day, you got to come out pistols firing tomorrow and hope for the best. But yeah, absolutely disappointed in America. But Europe played great golf today, so tip your cap and do better tomorrow.
Tim?
Yeah, I think, like Brian was saying, he hit a lot of nails on the head. We had talked last night. We had texted about the opening tee shot and how the first hole went, and it literally went exactly how we text each other. And we're like, it was awesome. And I was like, in the Ryder Cup, you need to sustain momentum. And just because you're one up after one or two up after two, if you don't take advantage of the opportunities that you have in the first 5-6 holes, the other team, it just takes one shot. And just how close it is, we were one up after one in that JT match in the first match of the day, and we could have been 3 up after 5 or 3 up after 6. We missed a couple short birdie putts to go up, and then Rahm hits this incredible shot out of the rough. It just felt like a momentum turner. And those are the type of things that each match you need to sustain those. America doesn't do a good job of that. They miss key putts, they miss short putts. Europe makes everything. And I don't necessarily think it's bad camaraderie on the U.S. side. I thought they were jiving pretty good. Everybody's out there rooting hard and pulling for each other, and I thought that was cool. They just didn't execute the shots in the Ryder Cup, like Ryan was talking about. It's a sprint, and in a sprint, you have to execute when called on. You can't mess around and leave the door open. You expect your opponent to make everything. So we just didn't. I mean, I think it's a lot closer than 5.5 to 2.5. To be honest, I think a 3-foot miss by Cantley in the afternoon, and it's we're talking about 4.5 to 3.5. Like that's how close. That's how close this one feels to me. It doesn't feel like it's a blowout. It feels closer. It's just disappointing because US is losing. That's all.
and I'll second that. I'll go back on your point on that hole we were talking about before. When John hit it in that hay on the left, I mean, everybody was talking about not being able to get it out. The fans were going to get hit by the golf ball. It was going to come out left, going to come out right, and he hits that ball to like I don't know 12 feet or something like that. That shifted the momentum, I believe, in the morning session. I believe that's where it shifted, and it was just such a great shot. And then is either the next hole or the next hole. Terrell's up against a stick, and just they don't want to move it, and he just flushes it. The stick just breaks, and he hits a great shot. I mean, it's like so. As much as we can say America should have been up in that match a lot, those guys absolutely hit amazing shots from those terrible positions. So I just think, man, it's like we were talking about before. It's these little matches are little sprints. These are not like, oh, you can just kind of make par, and then you can make birdies. You got to make birdies, especially on a soft golf course like this where the rough's not high. And America just didn't do that. You saw some scores in foursomes this morning, 5, 6, 7 under par. That's unbelievable. An alternate shot. This is not best ball. This is alternate shots. Really hard to do. So I mean, hats off to Europe for what they did in that morning session, and it just set them up to the ball was in their court. They didn't have any pressure on them in the second session. To be honest, it was all on America.
Absolutely. They did not have any pressure in the second session. They got all the confidence they needed from the morning foursomes as well, right? Going out there, not probably knowing what exactly to expect, in terms of how they would respond to the fans and stuff like that. Before we get into each match, let's just start back at the beginning. Just curious to know what you guys thought about the introduction of the whole event this morning. Did you find that the crowd was a little bit muted? I mean, I think it's probably par for the course. Like people haven't been drinking at 7 a.m. necessarily, right? People are excited. There's no doubt about it. It feels to me like we've heard louder beginnings to Ryder Cups before than we did this morning. Did you guys get that kind of sense when you were watching?
A little bit, but I think, John, a lot of that was a TV production. They had some weird sound stuff going on, and it was delayed, and it was muted where you could only hear them in the booth. I do think it was crazy, like when Keegan was out there when it was dark this morning. I do think they were riled up. I do think that they were loud. I think that they were really loud when Trump came out as well. I thought that was another great moment. I thought that would probably be a huge momentum booster to the Americans. I do think I expected it to be louder, to answer your question, but I do think some of that's the TV production that we heard.
That was another huge factor this morning. The first hour of this broadcast was critiqued by everybody, essentially. Too many commercials. They're doing an interview with the CEO of the PGA of America at like 8 a.m.
Who cares?
Audio's messed up. Sky Sports had a great broadcast on their end of things across the pond. Barely any commercials. They're showing all the coverage, all the shots. And then in the US, it's just difficult. Like first hour, you're so excited for this. It's like Christmas morning. And then we just get a broadcast that's worse than anything we've really seen, right? It's just awful. It's too bad, honestly. But yeah, it's too bad. Do you guys have any thoughts on the broadcast before we talk about today's matches? Mike?
I know Tim has some thoughts on it because we were talking back and forth about all the commercials. Tim, go ahead.
Tim, go ahead.
I was Yeah, the commercials are insane. I get they do the playing through. I get that part. But the commercials, there's too many. There's only 16 golfers playing. Like, we don't need 300,000 commercials every hour while there's 16 golfers playing. We should be able to see every single shot. And it's hard as a fan to get fired up when you're watching playing through and you see two golfers hole 50 footers and you can't even hear the noise. Like, I don't want to see the tape. I don't want to see the tape delay play, or when they come back from commercial and go, oh, here's what just happened. Yeah, we saw what happened, but we couldn't get excited because we didn't have any sound. It's idiocracy to me that in 2025 it's like that. It's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you hear the other side of the broadcast on Sky Sports and how awesome it is, and all their guys are cheering because they're seeing every shot, and here we are in the same situation, not being able to see that. It's just irritating beyond belief as a fan.
At the end of the day, it's all greed. That's what
Yeah.
it comes down to. So
Yeah,
sucks for the viewer.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say we even missed a couple of tee shots this morning from the second match. I want to say in the alternate shot. Did you guys miss? Like, we missed some shots. We definitely did not see everything in the early stages today.
We
yeah,
didn't. I don't think we missed any opening tee shots, but we definitely missed shots, right? So we had at one point this morning, and I know X was wild with this, but we had two groups on the course this morning at one point. We missed a shot in there with two groups. We had two golf balls on the course. We missed a shot in there.
Yeah, like,
and we missed multiple shots.
When there's two groups on the course, when there's only two groups on the course, and they go to a commercial and they come back from commercial and go, oh, one of the groups have the second hole. Like, they don't even they didn't even show the shots. They just told us they have the second hole. Well, dude, we want to watch that. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the Ryder Cup is such a big business. It's a little bit embarrassing that they haven't figured this out. I mean, they make tons of money. They need to figure this out. The Masters can figure it out.
Exactly.
They can figure it out. It's doable. You know, this is not at this point. This is not rocket science. This is things that people have figured out. There's so many avenues to figure this out. So yeah, very disappointed in that. But the crowd could have been louder, John. Yes, the crowd could have been louder. I do think.
It could have. Yeah. No, for sure. Now that I'm thinking about it, though, I like the social media videos that I saw, like from the first tee, like down on the ground. When I listened to it on my phone, it sounded loud. Now that I think about it, but when I was watching it on the broadcast, it didn't seem that way. It almost seemed muted. And I think you're right. I think there's some significant audio issues that were plaguing the broadcast this morning. I mean, based on the way the rest of it was going, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Yeah. So who knows, right? We don't really know for sure. We weren't there.
Also listening to some of the on-course reporters talk, they were saying that it wasn't as loud as they thought it was going to be. So there were sound issues with the broadcast, don't get me wrong, but some of the on-course reporters that were going around were getting asked, gosh, is it loud out there? Is it raucous like they said it was going to be this whole time? And they said, no, we've been to Ryder Cups where it's been way louder. And they didn't even hesitate. They didn't even hesitate to think about it for a second. They're like, it's been way louder. So I'm kind of, it also felt from the broadcast, even with the sound issues, that it wasn't quite as raucous and crazy as I thought it was going to be anyway.
Right.
Well, think about this. How much were tickets to the Ryder Cup for 1 day?
$1,000, I think.
Yeah. So obviously that's going to shoo a lot of people away that probably would get pretty rowdy. You know, like Tim, we've talked about this, you know, how are 49ers fans now at the new stadium versus how they were at Candlestick? It's night and day. You know, all the diehard fans that want to be out there that are really passionate, they're not there. It's too expensive. And on top of that, you know, those first three matches in the morning, we were getting our asses handed to us. point blank. There was nothing to cheer for besides the first hole for JT and Bryson. That was it. So I mean, they did what any good road team does. You punch the home team in the mouth and you take the crowd out of it. So
yeah, I'm not surprised at all that the Europeans came to play. They just seem to thrive in these environments. Nothing really seems to shake them. We've seen this before. This isn't the first time, so I'm not really surprised that they came out like this. But let's talk a little bit about the foursome matches to begin with. The morning sessions, we had Bryson and JT lose 4-3 to John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton. We had Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley lose 5-3 to Aubert and Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick came into this Ryder Cup with a 1-7 record and goes out with Ludwig and absolutely trounces Scheffler and Henley. Like, wild. Like, the stats for the number of golfers that Scotty Scheffler had lost to over his last like 5 or 6 tournaments was like 4 players total. Yeah. All of a sudden loses both of his matches today. And then obviously Morikawa and English. That's a whole other discussion. But Colin Morikawa, people had their doubts about him going into this Ryder Cup, about even being a pick, I think. I was thinking maybe he would be sitting this morning, to be honest with you. Went out there with Harris English, got dominated by Rory and Fleetwood, 5-4. So 3 matches right there. Huge margin of victories there in those 3 of 4 matches too. Not like those are small wins. That was a clearly not a good strategic decision by Keegan Bradley to put those guys up against those European guys. Ryan, what are your thoughts on Morikawa?
Yeah, I mean, I was one to say that if I was king, it wouldn't have been Maury would not have been on the team. His form has just been off all year. He's had too many moments over the past 2 years where he's been in positions to win golf tournaments, and I don't like to use the word choked him away, but he has choked a couple away. And that just doesn't bode well for somebody who's out here playing in these matches. This is the biggest stage. This is the biggest stage in golf. And you've got to be able to come out here and play. And I know Brandel talks about all the time. You put your best iron players out and foursomes. You put your best iron players out. It doesn't make a damn if they can't putt. It doesn't make any difference if they can't make a putt. So I'm more about clutch gene when it comes to these kind of events. I'm not about best ball striker, best this. I'm talking about guys who want to get out there and who are dogs. And you saw Patrick and X in the anchor match. They came through big. I mean, that would have been another sweep if they didn't come through big. So that would have been huge. And I mean, the biggest part of all the matches that you just said, the biggest disappointment is, to me, Scotty and Bryson. You're 2 dogs, right? Like, yes, after 1 hole, it looked amazing with Bryson and JT. But to be fair, JT played really, really bad this morning. He did. He played terrible. Scotty looked like he was, I don't want to say disinterested, but he was just flat all day. He was never really hyped. He couldn't get a putt on line. He missed wedge shots. He missed iron shots. He missed more fairways today than he probably has in 2 years. It's like I don't know what's going on with that. There was a lot to be desired left after this morning session for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And before we get into the afternoon sessions, just a couple stats from our guy Justin Ray Golf over on X. He said Europe won 5 of the first 6 matches out today, 3 of 4 in foursomes, and the first 2 matches of the afternoon 4-ball. They are the first Ryder Cup team to win 5 of the first 6 matches out since the U.S. in 1975. So that strong of a start has not been seen in a very long time by any team in the Ryder Cup. Couple of other stats here. Rory McIlroy's last 8 approach shots of this match, that last match that they just finished off, which was halved, right? 8 for 8 in greens and regulation, including 6 approaches inside 20 feet with an average proximity of 16 feet. Best point percentage all time in foursomes and 4-ball matches at the Ryder Cup. Tommy Fleetwood, 77.3%. Tom Watson, 77.3%. Arnold Palmer, 76.2%. So Tommy Fleetwood is one of those guys that is relied upon by the Europeans out there. There's a reason he's out there. He's performing well under high pressure in this environment.
Yeah, I mean, this is the year of Rory and Tommy. Like, let's just be honest, right? Those guys have played super well all year, and then Tommy finally gets his big W in Atlanta. I mean, I I've said it. I've said it in our group. I thought Rory and Rom and Fleetwood had a chance to all go 5-0 this week. Like legitimately,
Yep.
they're just dogs, man, and they played well. And we can get into some stats, some other stats here in a minute, but it's they just dominated the first session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn our attention a little bit to the Friday four ball. In the afternoon that we just witnessed, we had Scheffler and Spawn defeated by Rom and Straka 3-2. Ben Griffin and Bryson DeChambeau lost 1-up to Fleetwood and Rose. Justin Rose made a clutch one on the 18th hole, I think, to win that match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
Cam Young and JT trounced Ludwig Aberg and Rasmus Højgaard this afternoon, 6-5. So a bright spot there. It's good to see Cam Young and JT performing. Cam Young had been playing well coming into this event, and we knew that JT can find it at any given moment. So not surprising to see him turn it on after the morning. And then Sam Burns and Patrick Cantlay obviously have the match with McIlroy and Lowry. And Burns made like an 8 to 10 footer to extend it to 18, right? As well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big, big half point for them. So if you do the math on it, 8 of 28 matches are complete. I think that comes out to around 28% of the matches are now complete. 2.5 points for the US, 5.5 points for Europe. So going into Saturday, we've got Saturday foursome, Saturday four ball, and then obviously we got Sunday singles. We'll just turn our attention to Saturday right now. What are you guys expecting to see? Do you think the US is going to come out strong tomorrow? Or are we going to see kind of a little bit of the same as we did today? Or what are your expectations going into the weekend now? Start with you, Ryan.
Man, I think I think Keegan, what he said after the round was important. I know you're gonna get a lot of opinions. That's what he has to say, but he did just say this is kind of like the first quarter, right? Like, yeah, we're down. We know what we have to do. I think it's gonna have to be a lot of come to Jesus moments in that locker room. I mean, it really is. Like, these guys are gonna have to get together. I think they're gonna have to make some different decisions. I think they're gonna have to vary from the game plan. I think that's whereas Europe, I think Luke can run out there with the same chalk he had on the board that he was going to go out with, right, on Saturday. But I think they're going to have to make some adjustments. Foursomes is tough for this team. And and to me, it's a culture difference. I've always thought that. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know that I'm right about that, but it just feels like it's a culture difference. Those guys can just play together differently in Europe. But when the guys are playing their own ball, it's like they're just more free. So I do look for the USA. I can't see more than a split though in the first session tomorrow morning. I can't see anything better than that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I'd be ecstatic with a split tomorrow morning just because I agree with you wholeheartedly with I don't know if it's just they practice that more growing up. They just mess around in high school. We're going to do alternate shot today or something like that just because I don't know. Do you guys think it means more to them?
I don't know that it means more to them, but I do think your point is right because I saw Graham McDowell tweeting a lot today, and he was giving he alluded to what you were saying. These guys do practice a lot of this growing up as kids, whereas in the States, they don't do that. These guys are groomed by coaches and for the perfect swing, and that's just kind of how they do it around here. But those guys do a lot more games like that, a lot more alternate shots. So I think that's a little bit more of it. I don't know that they want it more, man. I can't put that on I can't put that on anybody that they want it more, but I'm with you on that.
It just felt like they came across as a little more passionate today, but maybe that's just also because they played better too. I'm sure that plays into it, but I don't know. I just hope to see them come fired up tomorrow. Like you said, Scotty was very flat today. I really hope we see a different version of him tomorrow because if he does what he does again today or tomorrow, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad, and we don't have a shot if he doesn't pick it up. DeChambeau too.
I think it comes down to overthinking things. I think America often overthinks pairings when it comes to pairings. Like the European captains, they got their game plan. They don't overthink it. They're like, this guy's hot. We're playing him with so and so, and we're gonna do it like that. Like they throw the stats and the analytics out the door sometimes when it comes to the Ryder Cup. Fitzpatrick is a perfect example. He's been playing great this whole year. He's been terrible in the Ryder Cup. So what does Luke Donald do? He throws him out in the first session, and he plays amazing. What does the U.S. do? Cam Young's been playing just as good as Fitzpatrick this year, and he sits. And the United States captains overthink a lot of pairings. In my opinion, they do it all the time, and they sit the guys that are hot and they play the guys that are cold, and then they can't figure out when to play the hot guys. Sometimes it's almost that simple. Europe often has their 8 best golfers playing in each session, and the United States often doesn't. And that's it's very clear to see that. Like it's very evident. You got Cam sitting and you got Henley playing, and he looked very nervous. And yes, he's had a great year, but he hasn't been playing that well the last month or so, other than a tournament or two. So I think we overthink it, and we don't make it simple and say we're playing the hot guys right off the bat, and we're going to roll with that. And if we need to make changes, we change in the afternoon. And Luke Donald does, or the European captain doesn't have to make a lot of changes because they make the right calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cam Young sitting this morning was a questionable one, in my opinion. I don't think I would have had him sitting. He's had such a strong performance coming into this event. And, you know, Morikawa, I know he's one of the good old boys, right? And I think that's probably kind of what played into that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at one point this morning, you'd have to wonder if Keegan was even thinking about going out there and hitting some balls, because, I mean, you know, like he had a decision to make and then he made it. And then obviously we live with that decision, and I'm sure he's content with the decision that he ended up making. But, you know, you got to wonder if he felt
it's kind of like what Ryan was talking about. You could be the best ball strikers in the world. You could hit, all those guys that are playing are great ball strikers. Some are, yes, a little bit more elite. But Morikawa is 141st in putting for a reason. He's not a good putter. And Ryan nailed it. You could hit shots to inside 10 feet all day long, but if you can't make the putts, you're not going to win Ryder Cup matches. And he's 141st. I wouldn't have had him playing this morning. I would have had him, if I was even going to play him, it would have been in the afternoon matches where he could play his own ball. And if he doesn't perform, then hopefully his partner shoots 7 or 8 under.
And more to the point too, when we talk about putting, right? And clutch putting, whether it's clutch putting or whether it's good putters. Guess who ranked dead last today in strokes gained putting? The best putter on the planet, Sam Burns. Dead last. If you can't, the putter is the great equalizer. We all know this. We've been taught that since we were 5 years old. Like, you have to make putts, and if you don't make putts, you're not going to win. And Europe makes putts. John Rahm, Terrell Hatton, and Justin Rose are 3 of the most clutch putters you will ever see. And whether it's a tour event, a Ryder Cup event, but especially a Ryder Cup event, those guys make putts when they need to. They make putts when they don't need to. Like, it's unbelievable how good they putt. And to me, that's the difference in some of these recent Ryder Cups. Yeah. Those guys making those putts.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Just want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsor for today's episode, Blue Chew. Sometimes I take a Blue Chew to make standing in line easier, something to lean on. Guys, enter the room dick first. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Guys, this isn't just about performance. This is about guys, this isn't just about performance. This is about legacy, or a third legacy. Give her group chat something to talk about. When you lay it down, they're talking about how it gets up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options today at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code Nuclr at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. That's promo code Nuclr, NUCLR, for your first month free. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head over to bluechew.com for details and safety information. And a big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring today's show.
And I hope Team USA is popping those things like Skittles tonight.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, they need something, man. Get out some aggression. Let's go.
They need anything at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they need to build up aggression. That's what they need. They don't need to let out aggression. They need to build it up.
They need to get it together. Like, they need to come out firing tomorrow, honestly. And like you guys said, they need to get half. Like, if they could half the morning session, get half the points, I think we'd be, well on our way to having potentially a good day for them. But it can't be 3-1 after the morning session tomorrow. I know that, right?
No, it can't be.
No
And
shot.
you got to mix it up. They got to mix it up. Like to your point earlier, when you were talking about maybe not having Cam out there or Maury out there this morning, right? I think I would have went with Bryson and Ben Griffin, and I know that would have been a tough spot for Ben Griffin, but he wouldn't have been hitting the first tee ball, so it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. And then I think I would have went with JT and Cam. And I would have changed that up a little bit, because those are the pods they've been working in, and those pods, as you saw, JT and Cam played amazing. And I think when you have two like high energy guys like JT and Bryson, I mean, maybe that just doesn't mesh well, because maybe one of them can't grasp the energy that they need because it's being fed to another one. Like there's a lot of chemistry issues there. But I think tomorrow we're going to see Cam Young both sessions for sure. That would be my guess.
We need to.
Yeah, it'd be stupid not to. I mean, he's played that course more than anybody in the field. So, and he's playing really well. So, I don't know what else there is to miss, but
we have a quote from Bryson DeChambeau following his 0-2 performance today. He said, 0-2 today, pretty disappointed. I played good golf, just not good enough, and they made everything. Luck is on their side right now. So many putts that just didn't go in for us that went in for them. That was Bryson DeChambeau following an 0-2 performance today during the opening day at the Ryder Cup. Fellas, let's just circle back to the very beginning of the day when Bryson hammered that drive on one. What a moment that was. It felt like he was just going to go out there and absolutely dominate the day. And then obviously just right at the beginning of the afternoon sessions, he comes out with the president. Everybody's fired up about that. I think he had a good drive to start the second session as well, right?
he did.
Yeah.
Just ultimately wasn't able to put any points on the board. And we've talked about it with Scotty too. Just for Scotty to go 0-2 today, like, I know we've talked about it a little bit in the group today. Like, you expect Scotty Scheffler to at least put a point on the board for your team, right? Like, you can almost pencil those in as points. And for him to go 0-2 today, I mean, it's tough. It's tough because you're thinking, yeah, we're going to get something from him. And then you don't. It's going to put you back, right? It's like,
Absolutely.
You expect to get something out of someone and you just don't get it. I mean, he's human at the end of the day, right? He doesn't always have it. He wasn't putting well this afternoon. And all we can hope for is tomorrow he finds it. And we know he's got it in there. We see it week in, week out. Can't be that far away, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have a decent enough sample size with Scotty and Ryder Cups now, and I think we all kind of agree. Scotty kind of becomes just a mere mortal in these, and it's I don't understand it. Tiger didn't have the greatest record in foursomes and four ball, so like I don't understand these dominant athletes, like what happens in these moments. I think it's more about what we were talking about before we came on, and these guys like Scotty, he runs marathons. He doesn't run sprints. That's just the way he does it. You see him creep up the leaderboard steadily, and then he's there on Sunday with a chance to win, or he's already in the lead coming into Sunday. So, as we were talking about before, also a guy like Bryson, that's more surprising to me than Scotty today, because that guy can turn it on and turn it off whenever he needs to, it seems like. And do not like that quote at all, that they made more putts, luck is on their side. That's bullshit. Look, you got to make putts. You got to make putts. That's what we've been talking about for 20 minutes. You got to make putts. It's not luck. There were some bad lip outs today, but Europe had some bad lip outs today too. So that's a bullshit statement. I don't like that.
Yep. Excuses are results.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one for. Oh, Tim, you got something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, when it comes to Scotty, also it's a mental thing with the rest of the team. Like when Tiger didn't have the greatest Ryder Cup record, but also he would lose if they lost. It was 2-1 or 1 up, or it was really close. And oftentimes he might be 0-1 and 1 on the first day, but he would grab that half point, which ended up being important because it cuts a 3-point lead to 2 instantly just by getting a half point. When you're in the other 3 matches and Scotty's on the course and he's losing 9-7 like he did in 23, when he's losing 5-3 and 5-4, that's like you got rookies out there in other matches that probably are scoreboard watching and are like, holy crap, our best player is getting dominated right now. These guys are good. And all of a sudden you're in your mind. All of a sudden you're in your head. And I think like Scotty and Bryson, if you're going to be the 2 best guys on the team, I don't care if you lose because it's the Ryder Cup, but you got to be more competitive. There's got to be a fight there so that all the other guys on your team can rally around and not look at the scoreboard and go, holy crap, they're down 5 up after 12, or they already lost. They didn't even get the whole 11. Like that's important, especially in a Ryder Cup when there's only a few matches going.
Yeah. Interesting tweet from Alan Shipnuck. He says, bottom line, this powerhouse European team needs to win only 8.5 of the remaining 20 points to retain the cup. To quote Yogi Berra, a noted New Yorker, it's getting late early. That's 42.5% of the points that are available on the board. So if you look at it like that, there's no doubt about it. The Americans need to come out tomorrow, and they need to come out firing. And I can see it, honestly. Like, they're on home soil. I could see the entire thing getting flipped on its head. I could see the Americans going like 3-1 tomorrow morning. I could see them going 4-0 if everything goes right. But the Europeans are just so good, and they make so many putts, as we've discussed at length, that I think that makes it less likely. But you can see a 3-1, or at the worst, I think they need to have the morning tomorrow going into the afternoon.
One thing I think we're going to be able to count on tomorrow is I think the 13th man is going to be a hell of a lot louder tomorrow. We've got to have that. And I think that's going to happen for sure. Everybody's off work. Everybody's there. Everybody's going to be partying, and they're going to be drinking tonight, and they're going to drink until the morning. I think it's going to be louder. So the 13th man better show up tomorrow.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, it'll be Saturday. Everybody will be off of work, and you don't have to worry about work the next day either. So hopefully New York shows up and shows out.
Is there any guys that you're thinking, like Ryan, I think you mentioned they got to mix things up going into tomorrow, but for that alternate shot tomorrow morning, is there any notable guys that you want to see paired up who weren't together today?
I mean, I do. I think I want to see. I think I want to see Cam and JT go out in almost both sessions tomorrow, and then I do not want to see Morikawa, and I do not want to see Russell Henley tomorrow. I think you might. I know that Scotty and Sam have not played well. I don't know if that's a great pairing either. But I definitely want to see those other two, and I think we're going to see some change up. It should be announced any minute now.
We're waiting on that, right?
Yeah. What do you guys think about pairings? Like, what do you want to see?
I wanted to run this by you guys. What do y'all think about Scotty and Bryson?
I'm down for it. Me and Tim talked about it beforehand. Scotty needs a damn hype man in these
Yeah.
events or something.
On top of that, they're very familiar with each other. They're both DFW guys. I mean, they're around each other a lot, even if they're not in the same tour anymore. I don't know. I feel like that would be a fun group that might, create a spark, if you will.
Yeah, I think the only negative to that, and you can't go into anything thinking you're gonna lose, but if that match lost, that would be demoralizing.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like when they paired Tiger and Phil back in the day, and they lost. Yeah, that was just demoralizing.
Yeah. What do you think, Tim?
I don't know if I want to see Scotty in the foursomes matches at all tomorrow morning. To be honest,
I want to see Scotty in the foursomes.
I know you guys want to, but he's 0-3 in that particular session. He has not won any points at all, and he's lost 9-7, 5-4, and 5-3. I know you guys want to see him. I know we're stats people. He's getting blown out. It's not close, and I don't know what's wrong or why it is what it is, but I think if America wants to put their best chance forward to winning tomorrow, I honestly think Scotty's got to sit in the morning and figure it out, because you can't just keep doing the same. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. He's getting smashed. If he was losing 1-up or 2-1 and guys were just playing great and all that, okay, keep running him out there because he's playing great too. The problem is he's the number one golfer in the world, and in foursome matches, he does not play good. He doesn't even play decent. He's less than a mere mortal. Why would you throw somebody out there right now that's not playing good? So
I know, but I would rather throw out somebody not playing good who's the number one player in the world than a guy who just hasn't done anything this year. That's why I don't think we should see Colin Morikawa in the morning.
I don't think we should see Colin either.
Yeah. There's other guys that I don't think we should potentially see either. Like, Harris English.
Harris English, he stunk up the joint. Yeah,
I'd rather throw President Trump out there.
Can his granddaughter play?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like tomorrow for Europe, though, like I honestly think they could throw all 12 names in a hat and draw tomorrow, and those pairings would be just fine with each other.
Yeah.
And they would play well. They would play solid. You know what I mean? Like I just it's just there's just a difference, and I think that we all who are golf lovers and who love this country and love this team, I think we're all befuddled as to what the real reason is that we come out flat in a lot of these matches. And it just happens more than we think we should see it, and it happens with your leaders. And Scotty's not necessarily a vocal leader, but he leads by example. He leads with his golf clubs. And today he did not lead with his golf clubs. He doesn't have to be a rah-rah guy to lead. He just has to go out there and hit shots. He missed fairways. He missed wedges. He missed every putt he looked at today. That's not leading with your guy. His leadership style is obviously on the course. He didn't lead today. Bryson's a different cat. He's a different personality, but he didn't really lead either. He had some electric moments, but that's it. They were fleeting moments. So we got to see a different lineup in the morning, and I can't wait to see when they announce what it's going to be right here.
We have the top 5 players on day one, courtesy of Data Golf's strokes gained model. This was tweeted out by Brentley Roman. Matt Fitzpatrick plus 4.2 strokes gained was 1-0 today.
You're gonna like this, Tim.
I guess Fitzy was sat in the afternoon.
He was.
Tommy Fleetwood plus 3.69 went 2-0 today. Rory McIlroy plus 3.54 went 1-0-1. Cam Young plus 3.5 went 1-0. Bryson DeChambeau was actually a plus 2.05 despite going 0-2. And John Rahm was a plus 1.83. He went 2-0. It's no surprise that we saw guys like Rahm, Fleetwood, McIlroy all perform well. These guys are the European Tour dogs that have been playing well this season. I know Matt Fitzpatrick came into this Ryder Cup with a 1-7 record, but his results this year kind of spoke for itself. He played well to earn his captain's pick, right? Towards the end, too. He was a captain's pick. He played well coming
and
in.
He's been playing excellent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we are waiting on the matchups for tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if they're in just yet or not. Let's just refresh. I don't think we have them yet, eh?
No. And just to look at it from the other end, guys, if you haven't looked at this on the strokes gained total, starting from the bottom, Sam Burns minus 3.3, Griffin minus 2.7, English minus 2.6, Lowry minus 2.47, on and on and on and on. So you can see, we brought up the rear in the last 3 spots on strokes gained, and there was only around the green, there was one person that had a positive around the green, and that was Ben Griffin in the plus 2.06. So yeah, we just didn't play well. I mean, just did not play well. And then you see Bryson near the top there, as John was saying. He was he was fifth. The morning session, JT played really bad. And when you play really bad as an alternate shot, it penalizes your partner way more than if you're playing best ball, right? So I put a lot of Bryson's first match. I do put a lot of that on JT. He played really bad, man. He missed a lot of putts. He had a lot of bad iron shots. So I do think I can't. This is the only thing I would say, Tim, to your argument about Scotty tomorrow. When has that guy ever had 2 bad days in a row? That's just, to me, I just can't see him playing 3 straight matches shitty. I just can't see it. But I also can see your side of the argument. We only have the proof that we have in the past 2 Ryder Cups, right? So it's just hard for me to see him playing bad.
I love Scotty. I really do. He's one of my favorite golfers. But if you're asking me what we need to do to get back in this thing and what we need to do to win, this is a pattern with American captains. I go back to 6 or 7 Ryder Cups ago, so 10, 12, 14 years ago. Mickelson was playing some of the most unbelievable golf in his lifetime. And on a Saturday afternoon, the captain rested him, and the team that he should have played on got throttled. And we were up 10-6, or we were up 10-6, and he wanted to rest them. And that was his reasoning. And we ended up losing by like a half point because we didn't play one of our hottest guys. Mickelson can play 5 matches. That's no problem for him. Tiger can, Scotty can, Bryson can, a lot of these guys can. But we do these things where we overthink stuff and we're like, well, we should rest Mickelson or we should play Scotty because maybe he'll finally win a foursomes match that he's proven that he hasn't done yet.
All right, fellas, we have the pairings. Match 1, we're going to go. It's Bryson DeChambeau and Cam Young going out at 7:10 a.m. up against Matt Fitzpatrick and Ludwig Aberg. Match 2, Harris English and Colin Morikawa. Colin Morikawa is going back out for Saturday mornings up against Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood.
So it's 6.5. So it's 6.5 to 2.5.
Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay are reunited again, going up against John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton.
Tim's going to love this last one.
And in the last one, Scotty Scheffler, Russell Henley versus Robert McIntyre and Victor Hovland at 7:58 a.m. Eastern Time. These are the foursome matches for Saturday morning at the Ryder
Keegan Bradley is selling so hard right now. So hard.
Looking at these matches, it's 7.5 to 2.5 already. Like, we haven't even teed it up yet.
God.
Like, what are we like? I love Cam and Bryson.
I like that one.
But what are we doing?
And I like Xander. I like Xander and Pat because they're good. But damn, I don't like them against Rahm and Hatton.
Yeah, I don't like them against that. Yeah, exactly. Holy crap! Of all the teams they could have gone against.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not in that team room. We don't know, but I mean, that's shocking.
Comments
That's
are coming
shocking.
in. Comments are coming in quickly here. First one I see, Keegan, you failed us. Come on, bro. Courtesy of Gretz for the win. We also have Jordan McGeever, who says Keegan has lost the plot. P-Dog 1823 says, WTF is Bradley doing? Count Bernie says, no effing chance they are sending out Morikawa in English versus Tommy and Rory again. What are we doing, man? So this is just a minute in after posting. Like, we're going to get tons and tons of comments here about these pairings for tomorrow. And it looks like the American fans are not happy with what we just got from Keegan Bradley. Our Ludwig tracker at Ludwig Tracker says it will be over by the end of the morning.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong either. The one comment, they gotta be trolling us with this. I mean, it does feel like they are trolling. It feels like this is fake news. It can't be.
Dude, on what planet did anybody with golf knowledge watch today's match and go, boy, I should really put Colin Morikawa back in alternate shot? Oh, jeez.
So,
yeah,
fellas, am I seeing it right? Justin Thomas is sitting tomorrow.
JT is sitting, and I wasn't. I'll be honest with you. I was talking to some of my guys, and I wasn't against that alternate shot. He will not sit in best ball, I promise you.
No,
I was not against it in alternate shot. I'm not against that,
Yeah.
but I'm certainly against English and Morikawa and fucking alternate shot. That's unbelievable.
I don't even know what to say.
And Russell Henley, did you see how he performed today? The dude was like a shell of himself. He was very nervous, and maybe he can brush off those nerves. But man, he played.
JJ Spawn is sitting.
Dude, and
Griffin is sitting.
JJ Spawn played good. Really good. In the afternoon.
Played good. I thought JJ played well today, man.
And if you're gonna give Henley
he held Scotty up for a while.
If you're gonna give Henley another shot, do it in the afternoon matches when you can play a little looser, where every single shot that you hit is not dependent on where you're gonna put the other person. You can make a bad hole. You can get your nervousness out by just trying to crush balls or something. But you can't do that in alternate shot because you got to keep your partner alive. And Morikawa and Henley didn't do any of that yesterday or today. I don't even know what day it is anymore because I can't believe we just heard those pairings.
Who's the fourth guy on the U.S. that's sitting? Ben Griffin's sitting, and
JJ Spawn, Justin Thomas,
Ben Griffin.
And,
who are we missing here?
Why is it? Why are we missing it?
Friday foursomes. Oh, Bryson, JT, Scheffler.
No, he's one.
No, we got JT.
JT, JJ Spawn, Ben Griffin.
I know Rose is sitting for the Europeans.
Literally drawing a blank, man.
I'm so baffled by who they picked.
Sam Burns.
Sam Burns. Yeah. Okay. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah. Sorry.
No. Yeah. Questionable there as well, in my opinion. I mean, makes a big putt to get it to 18, which ended up having the match in the late stages on Friday.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd sit him. Yeah. I don't know if I'd. Man, I don't know. This is bad because it's almost like some of the pairings are just choosing from a list of bad options. But Cam Young was, I mean, not Cam Young. Sam Burns was ferocious on the greens today, though. So I don't know, man.
You feel like that has to change a little bit, though, no? Just because of his track record as a putter, you'd think. I mean, and really, Beth Page, their greens, there's not a ton of undulation to them. So, I mean, the putts don't really break a ton for the most part. So, I mean, you figured it'd be green light central for somebody like him, but I don't know. Maybe the nerves were there a little bit more today.
I have Straka, Rose, and Lowry sitting tomorrow morning. And there's one more, which we're great at figuring out. I felt.
Yeah, we are.
Højgaard?
Rasmus. Yeah.
Yeah, Rasmus. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, on paper, not looking great overall, I would say.
No.
That was the most deflating announcement of all time.
Yeah, because the first pairing that we got
was good.
Wasn't bad, right?
Well,
DeChambeau and Young.
Yeah.
Fire. Great start. Way to go. All right, I'm on board. And then you do the next one, and I just said, well, I'm sleeping until 10.
It's like they blanked under pressure and like read out the wrong names.
Yeah. It's like they took a blue chew and then
did nothing with it.
And then they did nothing with it. They went left for the last 3 pairings. Yeah.
They took multiple blue chews and they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah,
it's like they took pre-workout. They didn't go to the gym.
Yeah, that premature. Yeah, there you go. That's all that was. That's bad, man. I mean, look, guys. We all hope that this is going to turn out different than what we see here on paper. We all think that. I'm sure that it's possible, but it is highly unlikely that these pairings right here come out and get a split or better. Like, that's highly freaking unlikely.
Yeah.
Like, it's so unlikely that usually after pairings are made and they go out and play well, we go, oh, the captain's a genius or something like that, because that's how we overreact. But even if we go 3-1 tomorrow, I'm going to flip a coin and say, Keegan, that was the luckiest thing you ever did in your lifetime.
This trend now, given that we just got these pairings, I mean, I don't know if we could have said it this morning when we saw the matchups, because you got to give the captain a chance. He's been watching the guys for the last week, so we think he knows. But given that we're reacting in the way we are before day 2 even begins, if these guys go out tomorrow and don't perform, Keegan Bradley is going to be on the hot seat for sure.
He's going to have that Zach Johnson reputation.
It's going to be way worse than Zach Johnson. Way worse.
Mike, I don't disagree with you in the sense that there was so much build up to this event. This just feels like such a bigger Ryder Cup than back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, if these guys don't perform, if they don't put up at least 2 points in the morning session, it's going to get ugly fast online for Keegan Bradley.
I mean, I'll go as far as to say if it's 9-3 after the morning matches, then all the fans there might just start rooting for the Euro team in the afternoon.
I mean, this is, yeah.
I just don't see how I don't see with those pairings after the first one how we're gonna. I don't see where the opportunity is to get a point or even a half point. I just don't like.
I hope they prove us wrong. That's all. I hope they prove us wrong, but we have every right to be skeptical at this point because what we saw today was nothing short of atrocious outside of a couple of guys.
If you look at the pairings for tomorrow, where's your fiery competitors? Bryson, Cam Young, English, Morikawa, Xander, Cantlay, Henley, Scotty.
Cantley's the only one of the last 6 that could get rowdy because he did in the last cup. I can see him getting like all spiritual out there if he goes nuts again and goes 5 birdies and 6 holes and the crowd's going crazy. But like the other 5, that's not their personality and they're not playing well enough to do it.
Yeah, we're gonna need the 13th man really bad in the morning.
Like, all I can say is that Bryson and Young, they could get it done tomorrow morning. There's no doubt about it. They can. Xander and Cantlay, they can get it done. They won their match today, right? And then they sat in the afternoon.
But they can't. Can they get it done against John freaking Rom and Terrell Hatton. That's the problem.
I
If
know.
you move that around, if you move
Yeah.
Xander and Cantlay to one of the other ones, I can see that. I can see him winning 3-2, whatever. But man, against John Rom and Terrell Hatton, I don't know, man. Those
Maybe
guys.
the thought process is to make a big statement. You know, if we could take down Rom and Hatton, that could maybe be something that changes the tide a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm just
The
kind
only-
of throwing stuff at the wall, hoping it sticks.
Yeah, the
I
tough
don't really
part,
get it, but
the tough part about that is they're the third match out. So like stuff might be decided close to by the time they make a statement or are trying to.
Yeah.
Match two though is scary.
Very.
Harris English, Colin Morikawa versus Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood.
Oh
I just
God,
don't know.
7 and 6. I mean, on the front nine.
yeah, we just
It's-
have to hope that Rory and Fleetwood get the yips putting again tomorrow. That's our only hope. Those guys
Yeah.
are such good ball strikers and drivers of the ball. It's not even funny.
I mean, hopefully,
Oh, man.
hopefully, if it's alternate shot, it's alternate hand, and those two guys have to play left-handed tomorrow. That's Harris English and Morikawa's only shot.
And you know, the other thing about these pairings, guys, is like on paper we look at it and we're already intimidated. But it's not just on
Yeah.
paper. These guys have all the pressure on them tomorrow to
Yeah.
perform. It's
Yeah.
it's not just, hey, we got to go out and play well. It's no, we have to go out and play well and
Get points.
overachieve because we are behind.
Yeah.
That's added pressure, and I know why he's doing it. I can see it based off he's putting his veteran guys out there, and he thinks they can handle that pressure. But I think that's what we've been doing wrong as an American team. To your point, Tim, for a while, we keep making these same bullshit decisions and expecting a different result. And it's like, nah, sometimes your JJ Spahns and your Ben Griffin, sometimes those guys don't have scar tissue, man. They want to go out there and play.
Yeah.
So I think we got to change our approach up, man. This is I do not like what I'm seeing for tomorrow.
Completely
for
agree.
sure.
Like we need to score points we need to get points in the first session to make this a match, and we send out 3 suspect teams after the first one, and the first one's not even a guaranteed point. We just like that pairing a lot. They could easily lose one up in a great match, and now we could be down. We could lose all 4 because the other 3 teams are I 100% agree in the third match with Cantlay and Xander. If they were playing anybody else but those 2, I give them a great shot of winning. I gotta see Scotty win a match tomorrow in foursomes to believe it. Otherwise, I'm gonna assume that's a loss because that's the trend. Morikawa and English are gonna get smoked so bad that they might not show any shots of that tomorrow, which is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe, Tim? Maybe that'll be one we don't see much shots from. I think we're going to wrap it there, fellas. This has been a great recap of, day one at the Ryder Cup. We've got still lots of golf left to play. We're only 28% of the matches in, but the U.S. needs like 60% of the remaining points. It's a tall mountain to climb, but, I mean, they're at home. They've got the crowd on their side, so if there was any place to do it, it would be here. So here's to hoping we see this thing kind of get close tomorrow, and ultimately hope it comes down to the Sunday singles because that's when all the drama kind of unfolds. Fellas, it's been an awesome show. Before we head out, just want to have a huge thank you to our sponsor, Blue Chew. Great sex is just a few clicks away. Visit bluechew.com today to learn more. Huge thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring today's episode. And don't forget, we've got a special deal for our listeners today. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code Nuclear at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Promo code Nuclear and UCLR for your first month of Blue Chew free. We are so thankful to Blue Chew for sponsoring today's show. And fellas, as always, we will be back during majors and Ryder Cups. We are going to have Sunday coverage of the singles matches as they're coming down the stretch. We'll We'll tweet out when we're going to be going live with that. You can also find our show live on X and live on YouTube every time. We are also available on replay, courtesy of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. If you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform, that would be much appreciated as well. Helps us grow the show. Thanks so much to everyone who's tuned in tonight. This has been a great discussion about day one from the Ryder Cup. Hope everybody enjoys the coverage on Saturday. It's a long day ahead tomorrow, the morning and the afternoon sessions. And we will see you guys all on Sunday for Ryder Cup singles action. Until then, have a great weekend. We'll catch y'all later.
Go USA.
Peace.